Good evening and welcome to Purimisius. We are just about, on the end run of Ma'aseh Mechacham V'Tam. So let's just bring it up and get to it. So as we said the last time, the clever ones were stuck in mud and clay. They were speculating, what is this? These are just reckless men whom we had quarreled with once, and now they're really torturing us. And they were tormented there with tremendous afflictions for many years. One time, the simple prime minister passed by the house of the master of the name and remembered his friends, the clever one. Sorry. He entered to see the master of the name and bowed to him in the way of nobility. He asked him if he could show him the clever one and if it was possible to save him. He said to the master of the name, "Do you remember the clever one whom the devil sent for and carried away? Since that day I have not seen him." So yes, he replied, "That's the master of the name." He replied. He asked him to show him where he was and to free him from there. The master of the name said to him, "Sure, I can show you his place and get him out of there, but only you and I will go." They went together, and the master of the name did what he knew how to do, and they arrived there. And they saw that they were stuck in thick mud and clay. When the clever one saw the prime minister, he cried out to him, "My brother, see, these wicked ones are beating and torturing me so much for no reason." The prime minister scolded him, "You're still clinging to your cleverness. You don't believe in anything. According to you, these are men. Now see here. This is the master of the name whom you had denied. He specifically is capable of extracting you, and he will show you the truth." And the simple prime minister asked the master of the name to extract them and to show them that this is the devil, and these are not men. The master of the name did his thing, and they were left, in other words, the clever ones, they were left standing on dry land. There was no mud there at all. The demons turned into regular dust. Then the clever one saw, and he was forced to admit against his will, that above all, there is a king. This is Likutei Moharan 19, the second chelik, which speaks about the cleverness and simplicity, refers to this story. The essence of perfection is only simplicity and straightforwardness. Amalek was clever and denied the main element of faith. See there on the verse, the tzaddik falls 7 times and gets up. The last letters of the verse spell out Amalek. Essentially, all downfalls come through cleverness. Agag, who was also from the seed of Amalek, despite foreseeing his downfall at the time that Shmuel came to King Shaul to kill him, he still did not believe. It is written, and Agag came to him ma'adanot. The Targum, Yonatan replaced ma'adanot as comfortably, because he still did not believe in his downfall until he ultimately saw his downfall with his own eyes. Then he said, "Surely the bitterness of death approaches." For until that moment, he did not believe. Look at this story and understand wonders of wonder. If prayer is not as it should be, it is a 3-cornered shoe. Understand this. That is basically the end of this story. So let's talk a little bit about what was going on here. there's the question of, okay, so we know that the clever ones were taken by the devil. And the prime minister, the simple prime minister, doesn't talk about his friend, the clever one, for years. And he happens to go next to the house of the Baal Shem. And then he remembers his friend and he goes in and he bows to him like the way of the ministers. Then he asks him, can you show it to him? He says, yeah, I can do that. But only you and I will go. And they go, and whatever happens, happens. Why does it take so long for the Tom to think about his friend? Why doesn't the Tom run immediately to the Baal Shem and said, you want to imagine what happened, The devil took my friend and he's gone. What can we do? Years. One of the possible answers about this is that process of seeing what we want to see, or not being able to see what the truth is because we allow ourselves to deviate along the way. See, we all know what the truth is. So what are you going to do about it? Well, I'm going to learn some Torah. I'm going to daven. I'll try to stay away from speaking Lashon Hara. Many different things. But along the way, I allow myself to deviate a little bit. For whatever reason it might be. Maybe bored, maybe a little depressed, I might be anxious. So I'm allowing myself a little bite of something that I shouldn't. It may very well be that I'm actually quite careful not to go over the line or not go over whatever line I'm able not to go over. But ultimately, we all have that, we all suffer from the clever syndrome. We are allowing ourselves, we are giving ourselves, we are lowering the bar simply because, sometimes because of good intentions, sometimes simply because we feel like lowering the bar a little bit. And we figure, it doesn't do any damage, what's the big deal? I'll come right back. Sometimes we do it because we want to help somebody who falls off the derech and we want to help him on. That's the way that the simple one did with his friend. But it is in the process of the prime minister, the simple prime minister, and the clever one. And the clever one is speaking against the tzaddik. And how he arrived to him? He arrived to him because he was judged. The clever one was judged. He was beaten up for speaking against the tzaddik. And lo and behold, what was going on? The simple one did not say anything. He did not judge him. He did not put him to trial. Why did he do that? Or why didn't he do that? Because he wanted to help his friend. He figured, I'll give him a chance. It was my friend from old. And as a result, two things happened. Not only was the clever one captured by the devil, but the simple one basically forgot about the tzaddik. He forgot about the Baal Shem. The thing that is so difficult for us to understand is that when a person inflicts any kind of damage, he lessens in the kavod of the Kadosh Baruch Hu, he lessens the kavod of the tzaddikim. This is not a small thing. This is not a small thing. The minute that we deviate a little bit from the right way, from doing that which we need to do, there are immediate consequences. When I do something I shouldn't do, I'm instantly blinded to a certain degree. Same way that when I do something good, I'm instantly improved. I may see it, I may not see it. When I do something that I should not do, I look at something I shouldn't look, I read something I shouldn't read, I say something I shouldn't say, whatever it is, the results are instantaneous. But the thing that makes it so difficult is the same way that we don't see the benefit, the instant sensitizing that we are going through when we're doing something good, when we are staying away from something bad. The same way when I'm doing something I should not be doing, I become desensitized. I don't feel that the light has dimmed. That is doing damage to me. Rabbeinu says in I think it is at Torah Aleph or Beis Chelek Beis. Rabbeinu speaks about that there are three propensities that damage the year of a person. There's the three vices of eating and women and greed. And then Rabbeinu starts a very long process of what happens when a person follows, when a person, damages these things, and at the end, this is the whole thing. It is great. Some malachim. At the very end, it says that the person feels that he fell off the tefillah falls. So comes the question: what is the kesher? I mean, we're seeing that when a person damages, it causes all these tremendous inyonim that he has to go through. At the very end, there is the damage to the tefillah. What does this damage to the tefillah do to us? What is the signal of? The answer is what I just said. When a person allows himself certain laxity in these three vices, type of eating, type of women, type of money, he damages his yira. He damages Yiras Shamayim. But because I damaged my Yiras Shamayim, I don't feel that my Yiras Shamayim has been lessened. It was a big deal, so I did something. What's going to happen? So I absolutely have no idea that I've actually lost Yira. The opposite happens when a person is careful not to look where he shouldn't look, not to eat with taiva, and stay away from, lying for money's sake. He gets more yira. The effect of more yira and the derech of people Yiras Shamayim is they constantly feel that they don't have enough yira. So here you have when a person damages his yira, he doesn't feel that he's missing any yira. And when a person gets more yira, he gets more sensitized to the fact that he needs to have yira. And he doesn't realize he has more yira. He just feels that he lacks, that his lack of yira becomes greater. In other words, the signals are counterintuitive. You lose the yira, you feel you have enough. You gain more yira, you feel you don't have enough. So how can you tell? A person that transgresses these, that allows himself, these three vices, laxity in these vices, there's nothing in the way to tell him that he's lost anything. This is basically what's happening to the clever son. He's so steeped in it even when he is already in Gehenna, he's already being tortured. He has no clue what's going on. So there comes the tefillah. The siman that a person has, that whether he has more yira or less yira, is to see what is happening with my Yiras Shamayim. What's happening, with my tefillah. If I see that I care more about davening, I want to daven. I see that HaKadosh Baruch Hu answers me. And that is where I'm going to, that means that I actually have more year than before. If I see a laxity, if I see a diminishing of tefillah in my eyes, okay. I have to, I'm still going to shul in Hashem and but I'm not taking it as seriously. The tefillah doesn't go, it doesn't fill me up. I don't feel this my chayas. I don't feel this is where my life is. I don't feel this is my first choice for everything. That is the thing that reveals to me that I've been lax and I've lost year. The only crime of the Tam was that he used a little cleverness and did not punish the clever one for speaking against the Baal Shem. That's it. And the reason he did it l'shem shamayim, because he wanted to be Mekarav his friend. As a result, he himself forgot about the Baal Shem. But because the reason why he did this, because he wanted to be Mekarav his friend, this is why ultimately, Mishamayim, they made it so that he comes next to the house of Baal Shem. The Baal Shem is bringing him to him. And he comes to him, and it says he bows to him in the way of the ministers. What does it mean, the way of the ministers? The way of the ministers means that the lower one is bowing before the bigger one. And he comes to the Baal Shem, and he asks for his friend. When the Baal Shem says, yes, I can do this, only you and me can go, it sort of illuminates to us that the clever one and the simple one are inside us. People on the outside can feel, wow, this guy is huge. He's amazing. He's a rabbi. Well, listen to the things that he says. One of the things he says, listen to it. It's amazing. But it's only you and the tzaddik who actually know that inside me there is, just each person for himself, is only inside me there is the simple one and the clever one. And the cleverness inside me cannot get out of its own way. It is stuck in mud. I can't get out of it. And not only that I can't get out, I always believe that it's somebody else's fault. The tzaddik is telling us only if you and me are going together. This is the great message. Tonight we counted 31 days in Anahar. Mitzvah Hashem, in a couple of days is going to be, the Hilula of Hashem by Yochai. It comes a question, what is this amazing phenomena of Hashem by Yochai? After Hashem by Yochai, together with Rabbi Meir Malanes, were the Talmidim of Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva, Moshe Rabbeinu said, he was so great, Moshe Rabbeinu said, let the Torah be given through him. was the Rebbe Yeshem Bar Yochai. Why don't we have these literally throngs, hundreds of thousands of people coming to Rabbi Akiva, Shmuel Hanavi, David HaMelech, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai? What is going on here? What is it Am Yisrael picks up on that they are not even able to express, except that they sing his praises to the point that it makes people who are far from this uncomfortable? You're using praises for the tzaddik, that they are used to praise the Kadosh Baruch Hu. What is this? The answer is that we have to understand the period of what went on. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai was just after the period of Yamach Shemoy V'Zichron, where the concept of tzaddik and his role as the redeemer for everyone, the one who suffers for the sins of all those who they are dependent on him, was stolen from us. When they took a bite of the apple, they left the spit on the place of the bite. From that time on, the concept of tzaddik has been touched, has been corrupted, has been poisoned by that man. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai has reestablished the concept of tzaddik, that you can rely on him. As the Gemara says, Kedayu Rabbi Shimon lismach ala b'shas adchak. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai is worthy to be counted on, to be leaned on in times of distress. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai said, I can absolve the entire world from judgment. And it was from before until his time. He says, if I would have had this chus of Yosem, King Yosem, with me, would be able to absolve the entire world from judgment until the end of time. Reb Shimon Bar Yochai is unmatched since the days of Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu is the quintessential tzaddik. That is Reb Shimon Bar Yochai. Has been reestablished at the time when, just before it was taken and used and abused, and not only that, but created in so many of us a sense of discomfort. Maybe you're talking about the Zara kind of thing when we're speaking about the tzaddik. That's the greatest damage that they did to Am Yisrael, way beyond the untold millions that they have slaughtered and tortured us throughout the ages. Way beyond that is that thing that they poisoned the concept of tzaddik. Reb Shimon Bar Yochai has reestablished that. And Am Yisrael realizes that. That's why they throng to his kever uh, by the hundreds of thousands. It should be by the millions. And usually the simplest people, and also those that have real seichel, they're the ones who go there. They have absolutely no idea why they go there. They dance there, they sing there, they sing the praises of whom? Of the tzaddik. That is the simcha of Lag B'Omer. That is the celebration of Shem Bayachai. The celebration of the fact that Kadosh Baruch Hu has created the world, and He created in the world an neshama that includes in it the neshamas of the entire Am Yisrael. And by leaning on the koach of this neshama, everybody can be saved. Everybody can be delivered. Without it, there's no deliverance. Without this neshama, there's no deliverance. With this neshama, the worst of the worst can be delivered. And there was a great damage, dafka, right before Shem Bayachai. And Shem Bayachai corrected it. And Be'emes, the Zohar HaKadosh is the Torah for Bakiva. That's not the Torah of Shem Bayachai. The Chidush of Shem Bayachai is Tikkun Zohar. Tikkun Zohar is way beyond the Zohar. Bezat Hashem Yisborach should help us that we should go betmimis and bepshitas, and ultimately, you see that punishing the clever one does not save him. It's the chesed of the Baal Shem that saved him. So Olam Chesed Imon. Yisborach Bezat Hashem will deliver us with great chesed, because it's only with chesed that Bezat Hashem we will learn. We've had enough. We had a lot of mud and clay and stuckness and suffering and torment. We need to be soymech on the Baal Shem, on the tzaddik, to deliver us. And ultimately, with the chesed of the tzaddik, we'll be able to see eye to eye that yes, there is judgment. Yes, there is Gehenna. Yes, there is a devil. Yes, there is a Samach Mem. Yes, there's a judgment for every single deed. And there's no way I can get to where I need to get and be the way I'm supposed to be without the koyach of the Baal Shem, without the koyach of the tzaddik. That is our celebration of Shem Bayachai. That Hashem should help us with the koyach of Shem Bayachai. Should be zoicha b'zat Hashem to Yeshua Shleimo, Geula Krov Rabbi Amenu, that Hashem, third Beis Hamikdash, Sof Yaakov Avinu, b'zat Hashem will be built and will never be destroyed again. We'll be able to see HaKadosh Baruch Hu eye to eye. B'zat Hashem. B'zat Hashem,